Hey!
Welcome!
Welcome all to another episode of Bledsoe Said So.
Thank you, Amitabha.
Who?
Amitabha,
Who is that?
the happy Buddha,
Oh,
the enlightened one.
is that me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's up, everybody? How are we doing?
Doing good, man.
Yeah?
Doing good.
Alex, how are we doing?
Fantastic. We just cut up for an hour or so.
Yeah, we really did.
I'm riding a high.
Like, I know my face is probably red and my eyes are probably red because I've been laughing really, really hard for
Oh,
the
we
past
had
little
business too.
bit. Yeah, it was business.
That was
We
over 40 minutes ago.
discuss business.
Yeah.
A lot of cutting up since then.
Yeah. But also, right before we started, Ryan showed me some gameplay of Black Myth Wukong, which is on theme for today.
Yeah, I said the Amitabha because there's a boss you fight kind of like early in the game, and I think it was this. I can't remember the name of it, but you've probably seen videos floating around of these big-headed baby monks.
Yeah.
You fight one, and he's like Amitabha, and Amitabha is it's just cool, man. It's like the great savior Buddha. So I don't know, Amitabha.
Okay, well, Black Myth Wukong is on theme for today's episode.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
What part?
Well, just like the vibe of it, it's very cool because
The game?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So for those who don't know or are not like gamer people in general,
Nerds.
yeah.
All right, I'm listening.
Okay. I was gonna, throw up my little nerd sign at people, but you'll just have to miss it. But anyway, no, it's a cool game. But for those who aren't like gamer nerds and they're not like aware of the significance of it, it's the first ever like mainstream Chinese game. So it's like, oh, cool. I can't wait to see what it's like. But honestly, even though I expected this, think about it like this, Nick. Most games we've ever played have been American or Japanese, right?
The vast majority. I mean, there are outliers, but the vast majority, yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
We've
Most
played
AAA games ever, with a few exceptions, are either American or Japanese.
Right.
Yeah.
So imagine a game where it's literally set out to be the first mainstream Chinese game, right? The first AAA game. Dude, the vibe is Buddha statues everywhere, bro. The Buddha chants, like a lot of your enemies are like just these Yao Guais, which are like, Chinese demons. And they're like, seeking enlightenment, and they're talking about the elixir of immortality, and it's just, it's on vibe, dude. It's
The music.
Yeah.
The music sounds like very authentic, like ancient Chinese, like the flute, the bamboo flute sounds, and it's amazing, and it's gorgeous.
the kung fu.
Oh God. Like this is the first, like you said, AAA Chinese title, and they came out swinging. Ryan and I have been following this game
Since it was first ever announced.
which is probably like 2.5 years now.
I feel like it's been more, dude. It was at my first apartment.
Might have been. Since I saw this trailer, it has been like my most anticipated game.
Yeah.
I'm just so hung up on Elden Ring DLC still at the moment, but I'm buying it like next week probably.
I feel like it definitely lived up. Like, I'm a little over halfway through the game, and I still feel like I just got to keep going. I got to keep seeing what happens next. Like,
Yeah, we should probably say it's called Black Myth Wukong. If you don't know, it's about Journey. It's based off of Journey to the West, which is like one of the most famous mythology stories of all history.
right.
It is one of the very most famous. It's an old, ancient, like Daoist/Buddhist Chinese myth novel.
Yeah. And Confucian, too.
Yeah. Yes.
So I didn't know this, obviously, until we started doing research for the episode. But in Chinese literature, it's either 4 or 5. I can't remember the number. I want to say 4. But in Chinese culture, there are considered to be, let's just say the number 4. It could be 5, but 4 great works. Like great classic Taoist and Buddhist works. And one of them is Journey to the West.
Yeah.
It's literally one of the most prolific works that has ever come out of Chinese history.
Yeah, ever. And not so, like, not only is it like groundbreaking legendary fantasy, it is also legendary like religious text. Like, it is, I mean, we'll go into that a little bit later. And not only that, the cultural impact
Right.
of Journey to the West.
But also the historical truth in it. It's based on a real story.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's like a mythologicalized. That's like philosophized.
Mythologized.
That's the word. It's like a mythologized version of a true story.
Yeah.
It's like they
Which I didn't know that at all.
I didn't either until I did
That's
research for this. They like
Very
built a myth around a true story,
Right.
which is like so epic. But I mean, the cultural effect, like, I don't know, you ever heard of Dragon Ball Z?
That's what I'm saying, dude. I was reading parts of the novel Journey to the West today, and I didn't realize it was 1,000 pages. So I was like, "There's no way I can finish this, in one day." I would like to read it though; it reads really well. Like I read parts of the first chapter, and I was like, too long. But something that's really cool is there is a King Yama who is like the king of hell, who checks his ledger to let spirits cross to and from the afterlife. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
King
absolutely.
Yama.
Yeah. King Yama. He's got horns and everything.
Uh-huh.
He's like a big giant demon guy. He sits at a desk and he has his ledger of souls.
You know what?
I wonder if that's the Book of Life and Death. Is that what that is?
I'm not sure. That's a good point. We'll have to read the novel.
Yeah.
But I just had a memory. I recently read the first the first issue of Dragon Ball. Just out of nowhere, I was like, I want to read the first ever Dragon Ball. Yeah, like with a few months ago.
Nice.
And I want to say it's at the end of it or at the beginning. I'm going to show you real quick. It basically says like, here's Goku based off of the Chinese legend. Let me see if I can find it. But
Goku based off of what do you mean?
like when it's introducing Dragon Ball.
Oh, it actually acknowledges.
I'm pretty sure
in the manga. Yeah. So I mean, basically, like the Dragon Ball parallel thing is that okay. So in Journey to the West, just to like jump ahead a little bit, Wukong starts as this.
I found it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
He starts as this little stone monkey inside of a stone who like the stone is actually an egg and it hatches and it's the stone monkey on top of this waterfall.
What's it called? Like the mountain of fruit and flowers?
Yeah, the Great Mountain of fruit and flowers, which is so cool. And in Dragon Ball, Goku, he like crash lands by a waterfall.
Yeah.
It's
on a
like he's
mountain.
right there. He's got the little monkey tail. He's like a little baby monkey thing. Flying Nimbus. Wukong like has this. He flies around on clouds. He can like travel on clouds and stuff. Like, and then the power pole. We'll go into that a little bit later. But like Goku is kind of.
His name is Son Goku.
Yeah,
like Son Wukong. Look, this is the very first ever issue of Dragon Ball. This is the last page. When you get, you read right to left. When you get to the very end, there's a little banner. It says, "Remember your Chinese fairy tales? You don't? Not even the impish Monkey King and his magic staff, the Nioi bow? Oh, well, drop in next time and you'll learn." And then it says, "Next, my balls are missing." Obviously the Dragon Balls, but, that's cool though, right? Like, we never read the original manga growing up.
No, I definitely never did. I never knew they explicitly acknowledged it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like in Dragon Ball.
And they don't in the anime, which I've seen multiple times. So that was cool, little synchronicity there. But I guess I'll go into that for a second. But even though I've never like read Journey to the West, Sun Wukong has always been one of my favorite characters of all time. And I know you never played this game because I showed it to you before. But
Enslaved?
No.
Which game?
Monkey Magic.
Oh.
It was from like 25, almost 30 years ago. I think it was on the PS1. It was one of the first PS1 games I ever had. And you play as Sun Wukong. And it's called Monkey Magic.
Right. You told me about it.
Yeah, and you have the little power pole. It's like a 2D platformer game.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
And when you fight bosses, you fly on the cloud. And it's just amazing, dude. And I thought that was cool because I was doing, obviously, like, I was trying to see every adaptation of Wukong ever made in, like, movies. And apparently there was a show through, like, the 80s and 90s in China that I can't remember what it was called, but the theme song was called Monkey Magic.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. There's been so many. They've done games. You know the game I'm talking about, Enslaved?
Yeah, I was watching videos of it today.
That shit is
Did you know that was Andy Serkis voicing him?
No way. Oh my God. It's been such a long time since I
played that demo when it came out. I never played the game.
Oh, yeah, on like Xbox 360, I think. Yeah. I played the game at some point. I think it's actually on Game Pass.
Oh, sweet.
It might be. And then Smite I love playing as Wukong and
Well,
Smite.
League of Legends too. That's like the first character I ever played in League of Legends.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's Sun Wukong, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. With
damn, that's sick.
The clones and everything.
Yeah.
So this is like one of the most adapted characters in history, obviously. Like if you really think, I mean, you could say, okay, well, Naruto is, Japanese, and that's fair, but it's also like one of the most ubiquitous fiction shows on the planet. I mean,
For sure.
millions and millions of people have consumed this material. I mean, even he has on the surface, it has nothing to do with, Sun Wukong and Journey to the West, and even his main ability is shadow clones.
Yep.
Like Wukong,
And there's references to Wukong all throughout. I mean, look, what was it? The Foretail or the?
His name is Son Goku.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, technically, he is an ape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's tons of references. One Piece. Oh my God.
Really? Oh, Monkey D. Luffy.
Yeah.
And I thought about that today.
And then, like, spoiler alert, Gear 5 is like.
Is it monkey related?
I mean, no, but if you think about it.
Yeah, he is kind of like Wukong, yeah.
He's
I
very
didn't think
much-
about that until now, but yeah.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
There's a lot of parallels.
That's cool.
But also his personality is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because
That's true,
Sun
dude.
Wukong's personality, he's like very like reckless, but
Rebellious.
also rebellious, but also he is like he fights for freedom above everything else. Like that's his like major pride. He wants everybody to be free and like liberate people. Like that's his big thing. But he's also like he wants to smoke all the time and he wants to fight.
Bro,
like
the game is like that too.
yeah, I mean that's sick. But like it makes sense that like Goku and Luffy, what they want to smoke.
Yeah.
Like they don't just like not shy away from. They are ready to scrap all the time.
That's something that I appreciate about like martial arts culture or, just anime or Chinese movies. Cause there's tons, hella Kung Fu movies and stuff like that. It's always about just like, wanting to smoke. You know what I mean? I love that. I really
100%.
love that.
Yeah. That's like, his character, Luffy's character is very much like inspired by Wukong.
So I never realized I had a misunderstanding about the journey of Sun Wukong. I never, again, like I said, I've never fully read the story. I've just always like loved this character and seen the many different adaptations. And I'm like, that's cool, but never read the 1,000-page novel.
Mm-hmm.
But then today, I had the luxury of like reading tons of, explanations and watching, YouTube documentaries. You know how it goes with research.
Yeah.
Where you're condensing all this information. And I learned so much about Wukong's lore that I was never aware of. Like the fact that he becomes a Buddha. That is super
the
cool.
victorious fighting Buddha.
Yeah, it's like it's like victory over strife or something like that.
Yeah. He becomes a Buddha. And even before he became a Buddha, he had power that rivaled the Buddha himself.
Wow.
Did in your research, did you come across the thing where he was locked into the 8 trigram crucible? Mm-hmm. And like burned for 49 days? They were trying to melt him.
Yeah.
And turn him into an elixir. The reason the fire didn't burn him is that fire can't burn people that are like on Buddha's level.
Oh, that's so cool.
He's that like.
I read the part where he was like seeking immortality through various means, and we can go a little more into that. But he apparently ate this peach that was in the land of the Buddhas. I guess they call it like the Pure Lands, and
It's basically like heaven.
right. And when he ate this peach, it gave him immortality. Fun fact: when you start Black Myth, you play the prologue, which is where you're like the fully realized Sun Wukong, and you're fighting basically the gods up in heaven, the Buddhas, and you know how it goes in video games. Sometimes you start full power and then you get nerfed and you go all the way back down to level 1. It doesn't really like explicitly explain the lore, which I appreciate. It just kind of moves you along. And so when you start off for the first time as the Wukong that you actually play throughout the game, a peach drops into a little field, and this wolf, which is the very first enemy that you fight after the prologue, bites the peach, and he's like, ugh, and he throws it down, and then poof, out of a cloud comes you. You're
wow.
a peach.
That's so cool.
Just like in the myth. I didn't even know that till today. He
Yeah.
eats the peach and he achieves immortality.
Yeah. In the myth, he is like, he at one point becomes the guardian of like the great peach tree in heaven. Like, how do you think we should like go chronologically like the story?
Yeah, let's just do like we do with other myths and just kind of like start from the beginning.
Okay, cool. I have bullet points like on the beginning of, because essentially the first like 7 or 8 chapters of the story is like is like everything leading up to the actual journey to
Right.
the West. It's like his kind of origin story. Wukong's like, or how he became powerful, how he became what he is, who he is, whatever. So basically, I already said he was born out of like this magical stone,
Right.
on top of and it's said that the stone is imbued with the energy of the 5 elements and the yin yang energies, which is heaven and earth. It's like heaven and earth energies. That stone was apparently at some place where it absorbed all of those energies, giving it the ability to like create life, and it created a little stone monkey.
Right.
Yeah, so he started as just like this little stone monkey. He like finds these other monkeys. They play in this stream. Oh, he's being a monkey, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They tell him, if you can find the source of the stream, you can be our king.
Right.
He goes and he finds the source, and he becomes their king. And then
I read that in the first part of chapter 1.
yeah, he becomes their king because he found the source of the water that they could never find for whatever
It's
reason.
like it was like on the other side of a waterfall.
Yes.
He had to cross through this waterfall.
Yes, which is like the symbolism is already starting. You know what I mean? It's like it's so, this whole story is so chock full of symbolism. And then basically kind of his like hero's journey catalyst is that one day one of his like monkeys in this kind of like adopted monkey family dies. Mm-hmm. And he's like heartbroken by it, and he goes on a quest to learn how to defeat death.
Right.
Which is like that's a story we've heard so many times. It's like there are so many parallels to that. The symbology, like the going into the underworld, like it's already a typical legendary like origin myth type thing. So he travels across an ocean. He makes like a little raft, and he eventually comes across a magical Taoist martial artist named Putizushi,
Ooh.
who gives him the name Sun Wukong.
Putizushi.
Yeah, there's
Master Roshi.
there's like a few different versions.
I got a different name for him.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a few different like versions. It's been translated many times. We are talking about an ancient story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like varying names of things and that sort of thing, but yeah, basically this Putizushi
I want some sushi.
he teaches the stone monkey the art of like Taoism, and he teaches him martial arts, and he teaches him all of these like mystical Taoist practices, including the way of immortality.
Subhuti is the name that I saw.
Subhuti Zushi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so after he teaches him all of these Taoist principles and like the way of immortality and stuff, he names him Sun Wukong.
What does it mean?
It means the monkey awakened by the emptiness.
Sunyata.
And there's like, again, there's a few different translations of that. Like some of the ones that I saw were like meaning in the nothingness. There's a few different like.
So I wonder what that means. Awaken to the emptiness. Like awaken to his, like he's aware.
Awakened by the emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
Awakened. But again, I've seen like a few different versions. Let's read a couple of the different versions. Let me find it real quick.
To me, that makes me think death, like awakened by the death, right? Because it was the death of his friend or family member that sent him down the path.
So
That's a good one.
The cool thing, while he's looking for this, I want to say like something that I realized is that the story of Sun Wukong. So without knowing the story in great detail, I thought it was just a story, but I came to realize that it's actually like an allegory about awakening.
Absolutely.
And becoming enlightened.
1,000%. That is what it is
Imagine
about.
that.
Yeah. it actually is. Like,
Right.
that's the thing. Like, it actually is.
So check this out. His name literally translates as the monkey awakened by the emptiness.
Wow.
Wukong's name is meant to represent his spiritual journey from an ignorant, short-tempered monkey to a benevolent, enlightened being.
Monkey mind?
In Japan, he is known as Son Goku.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Oh!
Wait a minute.
Hallelujah. you.
Think about it, dude.
That makes me just
What is Goku at birth? He is a Saiyan. He's a rash little punk, and then he crash lands on Earth, and his mind is empty.
Yeah.
He has brain damage. He loses his memory.
This, I mean, I don't necessarily believe this, but this is making me think of the Stoned Ape Theory.
Oh,
because he's an ape from Stone.
wait a minute.
Because he's a monkey that gains consciousness.
That's actually kind of crazy.
That theory only came out like 40 or 50 years ago, which is the interesting thing because this story has existed like in
that's what I'm saying.
subconscious.
Look what just happened with the quantum entangled particles.
Right.
The yin yang symbol has been around for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years, and now all of a sudden we get pictures of quantum entangled particles, and it's yin yang.
Yeah, that's wild, dude.
It could
That's
be
really
the
wild.
same thing that Alex is talking about. Like,
I know this is a little bit off trail, but not really. Since I've been reading The Secret Teaching of All Ages recently, a take that I really appreciated about esoteric symbolism from that book is that when we think of symbols, we think someone created them. Right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
it's the natural conclusion. Who made this symbol?
Who made it? Yeah, somebody made it.
But the take, and I'll see if I can find the quote later, but the take from The Secret Teaching of All Ages is not that these symbols are created and like have attributed meanings, but rather that they exist in nature, and the metaphysical power that they are concealing exists in the math of the symbol. So when you think of these symbols, they have specific mathematical precision. You know, you've probably seen videos on the 5-pointed star and all this stuff, and that these symbols might actually subconsciously contain secrets of literally the structure and the origin of the universe.
That tracks.
Think about the yin yang, bro.
That tracks with the yin yang thing.
It's an ancient probably like as far back as, you know, Buddhist, Taoist, Hindu. I don't know if that's related to Hinduism at all, but as far back as these Eastern mystical cultures go, before written culture, when they were orally transmitted, this symbol's been around. And, oh, look, a quantum entangled particle.
2023. 2023. We look at it and it's like...
It's yin yang.
It's perfectly yin yang, too.
Yeah.
It's not like kind of... It's like exactly yin yang.
So just interesting, you know.
No, I agree. I think that's
thought there.
I think that's true.
The symbols come from nature.
Yeah.
They pre-exist human consciousness.
That makes perfect sense to me, if only just based off of the yin yang thing. Like, but I fully I believe that.
Monkey mind, though. We were just getting on that thing. You know, when we're meditating, it's like I have monkey. What is it? It's monkey mind.
Monkey
right?
mind. That's
Is that
what it's called. Yeah.
When you can't meditate, he's literally an allegory for that.
He is. He's an allegory for like the human spirit and like the evolution of the human spirit, like overcoming our monkey mind.
Right.
Like that's who Sun Wukong is.
That's very cool.
It's honestly the coolest. Okay, so he becomes Sun Wukong. He learns all of these Daoist principles and practices, learns martial arts. He's beating ass. He learns the way of immortality. And then he gets back to all of his monkey family and he's jacked up and he's like, I'm badass, but all of you need to be able to defend yourselves too. So I'm going to go steal you a bunch of weapons. And he goes and he steals them a ton of weapons and he's teaching them how to fight. It's like the freaking scene from Mulan where they're training and they're, you be a man, you know, like they're all training and shit. But he's like, I can't just use one of these like normal ass normie weapons. I gotta find me a badass fucking weapon, a sick ass weapon. Like where could I get the sickest weapon of all? A dragon, a dragon king. So he goes in search of
that makes sense because dragon's more of a royal food.
It is more of a royal meat, yes. So, yep, yeah, you're right.
It's rank when it goes bad.
Okay, so. He goes in search for a dragon king, and he eventually finds one in Ao Guang. Yeah.
Oh, like Ao Guang.
Yes.
Oh.
Ao Guang.
Oh, wow.
Ao Guang, the dragon king.
Do you want to know a fun fact about that, too?
Yes, I do.
The way that the Chinese language transliterates into English. Did you know, like, an alternative way to say Kung Fu is Gong Fu?
Yes.
With a G.
Yes.
They're, like, interchangeable.
A lot of the K's and G sounds are interchangeable. Kind of.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, Ao Guang. He meets him, and basically... Wukong rolls up and he's like, hey man, listen, king to king. He's like, I'm a king, bro. You got to give me a badass weapon. You got to give me, like literally just asks him, like, give me a badass weapon. That's it. And Ao Guang is like, who the fuck is this little kid? But reluctantly, he's like, you know what? I'll give him a weapon because he's like saving face. He doesn't want to look like he's hedging his bets.
He doesn't know. He doesn't want to look like he doesn't know.
Yes.
I mean, hey, closed mouths don't get fed.
Exactly. So he's like, you know what? Sure, let him pick a weapon. So his servants go and pull out all these weapons, and Wukong is trying all of these out, and he's like not liking any of them or whatever. And then he picks one up that's the size of a needle, and he like when he grabs it in his hand, it turns into a huge staff, a bow staff that weighs 8 metric tons.
Oh my god.
And he's just
King Enma and Naruto. I just had that thought. There is a reference.
There you go.
Yeah, and he has the staff.
Yeah,
that
the
grows.
staff and everything. Yeah.
There's your reference.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just popped.
No,
in my
that's
head.
perfect. And he's one of my favorite characters. Sarutobi Sensei.
So this is a king dragon arms dealer.
Yeah.
Where do you get
He's
that?
Kaido.
Yeah.
He's Kaido.
Where do you get that job?
You're a god. You're a god.
All right.
Like a literal, actual god.
I'm going to try for that reincarnation.
Yeah.
I've already defeated 2 of the Dragon Kings in the game.
Oh, let's go. Yes, so he gets this staff called Ruyi Jingu Bang, which is, there's a couple translations of that. One is the stabilizer of the 4 seas. Come on. That's so cool. That's one of the name of his staffs, stabilizer of the 4 seas. Another translation translates it to the staff of miraculous will. Which, like, I just think both of those translations are so badass. Anyway, he has this newfound power. Ao Guang reluctantly gives him this weapon. Like, whatever, I'm going to keep tabs on this guy. I'm going to let him run off and do his little thing, but I'm going to keep my eye on him. And little did he know, Wukong runs back and is like, yo, I am strong as shit right now. He's like, I am the shit. I'm so strong. Nobody can touch me. I'm going to go and find other people as strong as me. I'm going to fight them. And if they can hang a little bit, we're going to start a little gang. And he started a group called the 7 Sages. So he went and he found these different sages of like different animal tribes. And he fought them. And if they proved worthy, he would like let them join the 7 Sages. Now he's like making a name for himself. He's out there doing some shit. He's getting a gang together. So now that's when Ao Guang is like, all right, hold up. This is getting out of control. He gets angry and basically claims that Sun Wukong stole that weapon from him because he's angry that he's gaining all this power. And he sentences Wukong's soul to death. He sends hell after Wukong. And Wukong's response is the coolest shit ever. Wukong defies hell, goes on a quest, finds the Book of Life and Death, and strikes his name from it. Takes his name out of the Books of Life and Death. And also takes out the names of every monkey he knows. All of them. He just takes them out. He's like, we're not in this shit anymore. We're not alive.
He didn't blow up and act like he knew nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
He took all those homies with him.
He took the homies with him.
They all coming with me.
Yes.
It ain't no fun if my homies can't have none.
Exactly. The whole gang glowed up.
That's like when I saw this video that Brad Pitt or somebody, maybe it was, I think it was Brad Pitt, gave one of his childhood friends like $14 million. It's like, yeah, I took all my monkey friends' names out of the Book of Life and Death.
Yes. So
and
now
gave them immortality.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Dude, the whole gang glowed up.
That's awesome.
I know. He is the shit.
He really is the epitome of like literally challenging the highest forces of the cosmos.
Oh, yeah. The highest forces. And now, because of this act of wiping all these names from the Book of Life and Death, now the most powerful force has got his eyes on him. The Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor, which is like the primordial god. Like,
isn't there like a celestial emperor above the Jade Emperor that he petitions to? Because from what I read, the Jade Emperor is like asking, like I thought the Jade Emperor was over Earth, and then there's like a equivalent to the Jade Emperor of the heavenly realm.
Could be. It could
like
be
a celestial emperor or something.
I
don't know.
It may be that. What I read is that it was just the Jade Emperor
He
was
just wanted
like
the smoke.
he's the primordial god.
Wow.
Yeah, and he like commands the heavenly armies and the celestial warriors, which like he commands an army of 100,000 celestial warriors, each of them possessing the power of a celestial body.
What's his name?
I don't know. The thing that I was reading was referring to him as the Jade Emperor.
This makes me want to play Jade Empire.
Oh, dude, I had the same thought.
That game is, dude, I haven't played that game in like 20 years.
Hey,
it's a Game Pass.
And on PC.
Yeah.
Get it on PC.
Yep.
Play that shit on PC.
Yeah.
That is a good martial arts game.
Yeah.
It's just a great game in general.
And you need to play Sifu.
Yeah.
You need to play that shit, dude.
Did you see the trailer for that secret level
Yeah.
thing? Oh, okay. Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yes. And like the Sifu episode is like in the style of Sifu. It looks like the game.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, he gets reported to the Jade Emperor, the god, the big G, the guy, the primordial god. Because I mean, he's like messing with the books of life and death. Like,
right.
So he's crossing lines. So he gets reported. They're like, Master. And
Like the 90s movies with the pets.
yeah. And okay, and so the big G sends the whole heavenly army at Wukong, just sends them to get
That's
him.
literally the opening of Black Myth.
Sends them to get him. Like,
Show
go-
up against the whole army.
Yeah, go get him. And they fail.
Yep.
Wukong fights them all off.
Mm-hmm.
Fights them all off. So then the response, this is crazy. He sends everybody to beat Wukong's ass. Everybody. And when it doesn't work, he's like, all right, homie, you can live in heaven. He's straight up like, I don't even want to deal with your shit. You can live in heaven. Just don't bother me no more. Like straight up.
I get those feelings sometimes.
What do you mean?
I'm tired of messing with you, man.
Right? Yeah.
Go easy on me, dude.
No, I think like, I'll do something and I'll be like, man, or like locking the house, right? Or locking the upstairs door or whatever. Like if someone wants it that bad, they can have it.
What?
I don't know that I feel that way, but
I see what you mean. Yeah, like I leave my third floor like balcony door
me too.
open because I'm like,
if they scale the
climb
balcony,
they deserve it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. If they climb all the way up here, you got it. That's what the Jade Emperor did. He's like, bruh, you just smacked my whole damn army. Like, you got it. But he was sly about it. He was trifling like bad. He's
who was
Jade Emperor. He invites him to heaven, and so Wukong is like, okay, that's cool. Like I could do that. And he's thinking like, damn, they're gonna like, I'm gonna be a god. Like I'm gonna be a god now. But no, the Jade Emperor names Wukong the stable boy of the cloud horses.
I saw that, and he took it as a great insult.
It's the lowliest job in all of heaven.
Right.
Like it's the lowliest job.
Which is another cool thing about like Chinese myth is how they portray the gods in the celestial, you could say the spirit world, as like a bureaucracy.
Yeah. Yes. They call it
like
a
Confucianism.
bureaucracy. Yeah. They call it like a divine bureaucracy or like a something like that. But the word bureaucracy is used.
It's like how they saw because it's how it was on Earth. So, I guess it's like maybe subconsciously that as above, so below thing. Like when they're writing this, well, like, surely heaven must work this way too,
Good point. No, that's a good point. That's probably what it was. They're like, well, if we're doing this, it's because they're doing it and we're, inspired by their
Yeah, that's how
divinity.
Chinese culture was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gives him the worst job in heaven, basically.
So just to pause though, because I don't think that's the worst thing. Like striving for beauty, striving for perfection.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Wanting to be like heaven.
Oh no.
Oh, of course.
No. Yeah.
No, it's just funny that the way that they describe heaven in their mythology is like a bureaucracy. Like, dude, we were talking about.
I missed that part. Sorry.
Yeah, we were talking about how like the guardian of the gates of hell or the king of hell. He has a ledger. He has a notebook full of names. It's like this
That was
departed.
probably the book of life and death. That's probably what it was talking about. When
I mean, how else are you going to keep track?
Yeah.
You can't memorize that
iPad.
stuff.
I was literally going to say iPads. They got iPads now, dude.
You know,
Well, if
Akashic Records.
It is heaven.
Something.
It is heaven.
Yeah. So, yeah, gives him the worst job in heaven, makes him a stable boy. And Wukong's like, hold up.
Shoot, I'd
Nah.
take that job.
No, he's like, no. I ain't no stable boy, son. I ain't doing that. He refuses. And he frees the cloud horses. He like opens up all the gates and just lets them all go.
That's what I would do.
I know. He's such a G, dude. He just lets them all go. And then he's like, he lets them all go. He turns to leave. And then he's like, by the way, I'm the great sage. Heaven's equal. Peace.
Bro,
Like he does.
I feel like he is low key, and this is what Jeremy told me too, but I think he was right. He literally is like the original shonen character.
He is. Yes.
He is the original archetype of the shonen hero.
1,000%.
And that makes it so much better.
Absolutely. It's like reading this is like reading a manga.
Right.
Like, straight up. It is. He is like a shonen protagonist.
Yeah.
He refuses their offer, frees all the horses, and then he's like,
I'm the great
Yeah,
sage.
he's like, I'm the great sage. Heaven's equal. Peace. And he leaves. Dude, he's a G.
Yeah, he's
the shit.
I mean, dude, at least my favorite, but arguably one of the very best characters in
It's
all of
Goku.
fiction is literally directly based on him. So, like,
Yes.
there's definitely a powerful resonance to this archetype.
So he bounces. And then Jade Emperor's like, wait. Okay. All right. Fine. I'll give you the job of guarding the Heavenly Peach Garden. and Wukong is like, I like peaches. He's like Goku
Right.
and Luffy.
He's simple.
He's all about eating and drinking, and like that's what he does. He likes to eat.
Yeah, how much crime is going on in this heaven? Because
A lot. It's a bureaucracy.
okay,
Yeah, they got like white collar heaven fraud.
They do.
That's what I mean. Why you got to guard everything is heaven.
You got
Yeah,
people
no.
freeing the horses in the stable.
It's like a realm. It's not like heaven according to this. It's not like you only get there if you're like pure of heart and like whatever. It's
Okay.
It's
They're
not
a little
You have to
more
ascend
lenient.
to this realm by escaping reincarnation and achieving Taoist merits.
Yeah.
They have a merit system in their
Yeah.
philosophical system.
Yeah.
It's nothing like
we talking
Western.
like stickers or
I don't know, man. Maybe like peaches,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
peach slices.
Yeah, so he takes the job. He's like, cool, I like peaches. That I can eat a lot of peaches. He's from the mountain of fruits and flowers. It's
Right.
like he likes fruits, whatever. So he takes it, and he's like, now they'll respect me as a god. But they didn't, sadly, because the Jade Emperor called a huge banquet, and who was the only god that didn't get invited? Sun Wukong. Which this, I wanted to take a little side note and point out. This is a direct parallel. There is a direct parallel here to Norse mythology because the start of Fimbulwinter and Ragnarok was because Loki was not invited to sit at the Hall of Valhalla. He wasn't invited to sit at the table.
That's interesting because I also read that the parallel, basically, like if you think about it as a parallel to Viking myth, Wukong starts as Loki
Yes, absolutely.
and he ends as Thor.
He
He transforms into the hero.
Ooh, that's badass.
He's both.
That's badass, dude. He is very trickstery and very
At first.
Yes.
But then he becomes, a Buddha. Not the
Yes.
Buddha, but a Buddha.
Yeah, straight up. He becomes the victorious fighting Buddha.
Yeah.
In the end. So he is the only god that doesn't get invited, and now he's real pissed. Real pissed. So he openly defies heaven. Openly.
Again.
But now he's like, bring the rest. What I want seconds. Bring the ones you didn't bring out the first time. Let's go. But before he does that, he's like, they're setting up for this banquet. That means there's hella food and drink. Mm-hmm. But it's only going to be up towards the top. So he wanders in the heavenly palace. He wanders to the 33rd floor.
Ooh.
He wanders all the way up to the 33rd floor.
I don't know if just a quick pause. I don't know if you guys remember this, but on episode 33, we talked about symbolism behind the number, and none other than in Buddhist philosophy, there were 33rd gems in the gate to heaven.
There we go.
or 33
Yeah.
gems, you know.
There we go. And this kind of piggybacks off the not locking your doors thing. On the 33rd floor, they describe in the story that they leave everything unlocked. All the doors are open, all the windows are open, because you can only get there. Like, only the deities with the highest spiritual power can get there.
That is insane that just like played out right in front of us. How he talked about, I don't lock my third balcony window, you know.
33rd floor, they don't lock the windows, they don't lock the doors, and because you can only get there if you're like the highest spiritual power.
Maybe I wonder if there's like some feng shui about keeping your third floor windows and doors open. I don't know. Maybe something to look into.
That's a good point.
I'm all about feng shui.
I've always wanted to like get really into feng shui.
It's cool, man. Like, especially
cool
when you get into like, because me and Olivia are really into like our bedroom being a place for sleep.
Yeah.
So there's no TV.
No, I don't.
And we are very deliberate about the furniture placement and having to do with feng shui and where your headboard is in relation to a window. Like where the head of your bed is in relation to a window, where the head of your bed is in relation to a door. Like if you sleep on one side, like if the door is on one side of the bed or the other, it's like the way the energy moves through the space. You'll have one person that sleeps better than the other person. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. We looked into some of that stuff when we were setting up in our new apartment. The issue is that it's a 2-bedroom. One of the bedrooms is much bigger than the other, and we chose the bigger bedroom to be our shared office space. So then like our actual bedroom is much smaller. But I like that because we do the same thing where our bedroom is literally just where we go at the very end of the day to go to sleep. There's no TV. There's no...
Yeah, she goes as far now as her phone does not go in the bedroom.
Why I have to do that for alarms and stuff.
Yeah. Well, she's got the alarm clock.
Oh, nice. Oh,
she plugs her phone in. Yeah. Well, it's one of the new school plays the sounds.
But ones. Still, using an alarm clock.
It's sweet. Like it'll play.
Damn, I kind of want to do that.
Dude, it plays whatever noise you want. Rain, crashing waves, whatever. Ooh. I love the crashing waves.
Does it do the light like the?
And then in the morning,
Jenny wants one.
The light slowly gets brighter as you get closer to your alarm time.
See, I might want to do that and stop using the alarm on my phone, because then I would like to keep my phone out of the bedroom. Yeah,
she's gotten super serious about it, and she's like, then she gets on me about being on my phone as we're winding down.
I bet she sleeps better now.
She does.
Oh, for sure. Dude.
And she's into mouth taping.
And,
and like sleep scores and stuff.
Yeah, I sleep so much better when I read before going to bed rather than like being on my phone.
I've noticed, and this is going to sound like common sense, but I have noticed when I stop having any sort of like tea is fine, but like coffee after like 2 o'clock at the latest, no more coffee. I sleep. I can go to bed. If I have coffee past 2, if I have coffee at like 3, 4, 5, whatever, it's like I'm up all night.
My cutoff is noon.
And that's common sense, right? But not really when your schedule is not the same every day. And
See, I've been like, it's way different. I cut off caffeine at like 7 p.m. But I'm not drinking coffee or Monsters.
Like sodas.
I'll drink like a soda.
But that's light.
Maybe 2 like after work, but it's usually just a soda. Like a 0 sugar soda. And yeah, normally I would say I'm not really drinking coffee past probably... Yeah, you know what? I might have a cup after lunch, and that's it.
Yeah.
I go to lunch, come back around 1 o'clock, have a cup.
It's been helping me a lot. Like paying attention to that, but...
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, before I wanted to say this real quick, because I was searching... I can't remember exactly what it was, but in that 33rd episode, we talked about some Buddhist symbolism. Maybe it wasn't 33 gems on the gates of heaven, but apparently the number of deities in the Vedic religion is 33. The second level of heaven in Buddhism is named Trayastrimsa, meaning of the 33 gods. And I just wanted to say a little spoiler for what I was going to get into in a little bit was that the monk's name that in the Journey to the West that he's helping is also based on the guy of the real name. I think it's like Zhuangjing.
His name is... Hang on, I got it here. So the real guy...
Zhuangjing.
Yes.
But his name is that in the story as well.
Yeah.
He's traveling to India because his quest is to receive sacred scrolls. But see, the spiritual significance of that is because Buddhism originated in India.
In India, exactly. It's so cool.
I thought that was cool. And then the Vedic texts, which is Hindu, there's 33 gods. So talk about the 33rd floor.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing where he's like he eats a bunch of food and drink. He gets drunk. He wanders up to the 33rd floor where it's like all unlocked and whatever. And up in the 33rd floor is where like these gods and deities, like they have their things up there, like their belongings up there. They're there while they're doing this banquet thing or whatever. So while he's up there, he finds Lao Shi's pills of immortality. Lao Shi, the god.
Do you know who Lao Shi was in history?
No.
It's the the creator of Taoism.
Oh,
he was a real person.
Dude.
Lao Tzu. And the book, The Tao,
yeah,
was written by Lao Tzu.
Well, he got
but
pills.
he was deified,
He got pills up there.
Yeah.
And if you take them, you'll turn immortal.
When you buff your stats,
It'll last forever.
Them gas station Lao Tzu pills, bro. They got them at the gas station, bro. I'm taking them.
Oh God.
They got them with rhinos on them.
That's a different kind of immortality, bro. They got rhinos on them.
And monkeys and all kinds of animals.
Right, yeah.
Different forms of philosophy. Dude, in Black Myth, when you boost your stats, they're pills.
Oh,
they're like
dude, that's
Daoist
awesome.
pills. Yeah.
That's awesome.
The vibe.
Yeah.
The vibe.
And he also steals Shi Wang Mu's peaches of immortality.
Damn.
And takes all the wine, all of it, takes it, and escapes back to his kingdom to get ready for open rebellion.
Your flask in the game is a gourd, and you drink rice wine.
There it is.
To heal.
There it is. He liked to drink.
Yeah.
He liked to drink, which is a little Dionysian, a little, you know what I mean? A little Bacchian, if you will. So he takes all this shit, takes all the wine, the pills. He's kind of a party animal.
Dude, I don't know. Wine feels different to me than everything else.
What do you, like physically it feels different?
Well, yes, but I just mean esoterically it feels different. I don't want to get into endorsing things and
no, it's different. It is different. Like
I just think it is different.
It's definitely different. I mean, like it was literally like the nectar of the gods in Greek mythology, and like it's think about it, dude. Jesus friggin' turned water to wine.
Yeah,
like,
well, also like mead that's been around since not only like Viking culture.
Yeah,
they were making wine, and it was their sacred drink. And
yeah.
I think in Egypt they might have made some drinks with wine. It's many cultures had some sacred wine.
It'd be something interesting to look into because it could just be that like wines were some of the earliest forms of alcohol that were discovered, or it could also be because there's some kind of significance to it. It'd be cool to look into.
Yeah. Well, I know that me and Olivia went to a wine class last year and learned that there's some vineyards, I think it was Spain, that pay attention to celestial bodies and where the stars are when they plant their vines.
Wow.
And that has some sort of there's a fancy term for it, but they literally do star mapping and zodiacs and like all of this, new age stuff and kind of like infuse that energy into their wine.
Wow, dude, that's so cool.
It's really interesting. Which is like it all kind of
but the thing though is that like the earlier part of Wukong's story shows him being you could say maybe not immature, but like monkey mind, immature. Rebellious. He's not awakened yet. He's not enlightened yet till it's the journey. He's becoming awakened. He's becoming enlightened.
Yeah, he's brash and violent.
And it's allegorical of the material desires of the flesh, the problems of the ego and earthly desires. So like maybe his great love for wine could be one of those material desires that he's attached to.
Yeah. And his ego, he's scrapping with gods. Like he's like fighting them all because of his pride and his ego. And like, he's going toe to toe with like the strongest deities in existence just out of pride.
Right.
He's very brash and ignorant and like cocky and he's monkey minded. So he steals all the pills and the peaches and the wine and all of it, and bounces again and tells all of his 7 sages and his army of monkeys and their armies and everybody, like, we got to go fight everybody in heaven. Everybody.
He robs them blind and then just assaults them.
He steals their wine and he runs out and he's like, all right, guys, I got hella wine and stuff, but also we got to go fight God and like heaven. And so he does that.
Yeah.
The Jade Emperor sends 100,000 celestial warriors, 28 constellations, the 4 heavenly kings, and more deities to capture Wukong. Wukong single-handedly defeats all of them.
Jeez.
All of them, single-handedly. And then the Jade Emperor is like, all right, I got one more. My nephew, Erlong.
Ooh.
Erlong.
He's the first person you fight in the game.
And he is the first person that Sun Wukong ever fought that matched his energy. Matched his
freak.
He matched his freak. He is the first person to ever match Wukong's freak. Yeah. Erlang Shin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when he came out, dude.
So, yeah, he
was broken.
He had to scrap Erlong, and Erlong got him. Erlong captured him and imprisoned him in Lao Shi's 8 trigram crucible for 49 days. The crucible is like a huge cauldron with like the primordial flame in it, like the original flame, the hottest flame in all of existence.
So what I'm getting at is like you don't ever get punished until you get defeated.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Absolutely.
I can get behind that.
Absolutely. Yeah. He didn't get any punishment until he finally got captured. They put him in this giant crucible, this cauldron for 49 days to try to melt him and turn him into an elixir of immortality as punishment for eating all those pills and taking all the peaches and all that stuff. They were going to turn him into an elixir of immortality.
Solid plan.
I know. That's a solid plan. Didn't work. Because after 49 days, they opened it up and he bust out and the flames made him way stronger.
So,
go ahead.
Well, part of the reason he was able to survive the flames was because of his teachings from Subhuti, who taught him inner alchemy and qigong, which these are real ancient Taoist practices of, with inner alchemy, it's what the pills are.
Yeah.
The Lao Tzu pills, Lao Tzu created Taoism, and they had a form of inner alchemy where they would make these mixtures and these herbs and certain gems, and they would crush them up and they would eat them because they believed it had properties to like give you, divine energies and stuff. But then the qigong was breath work, so he learned breath work. And he was focusing on his inner... And inner alchemy is more than just eating mixtures, too. It's also, meditation techniques and manipulating the subtle energy of the body. So they're telling you, like, he literally was meditating, practicing qigong and his breath work to survive this crucible in hell.
Yeah.
And he survived.
He survived. And not only that, he emerged way stronger.
Yeah.
Like reinforced by that flame, that, like, primordial flame.
It's almost like a parallel to Western alchemy.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is. And they also describe in the story that it didn't burn him and melt him because that flame cannot melt people or deities whose power rival Buddha himself.
Wow.
So, like, that's implying that already Wukong is, like, one of the supreme power level deities. Like, he's just stupid strong, and it didn't melt him. He came out stronger. And then they open it up. He emerges stronger than before. He also emerges, this is really cool, I didn't know this, he emerges with the ability to like intuit and recognize evil. He can see a person and see if
when he's born, he has light beaming from his eyes. And you know what's crazy?
Oh, it's because when he emerges, his eyes are fiery and his pupils are golden.
Don't you remember when you were just watching me play Black Myth? I was in the pagoda realm in the 3rd chapter, and the eyes were flames.
Yeah, they were red.
Like that.
And the enemies were highlighted red.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he can like see their evil auras.
Right.
With his fiery eyes and golden pupils, which is awesome. He then destroys the crucible, makes his way to Heaven's main chamber, and squares up with the Jade Emperor himself. Like God. Like the primordial God. And Jade Emperor bitched out.
What?
He called Buddha. He said Buddha.
That's what it was. Remember I said, isn't there somebody above the Jade Emperor?
Buddha.
It's the Buddha.
Yeah, it's Buddha.
Yeah. I knew there was one deity above.
Yeah. He's like, Buddha, he's being bad and whatever. And then the Buddha basically is like, tells Wukong pretty much like, hey, listen, man, you're honestly pretty dope. But also you're wilding right now. Like, I'm going to have to do something. So let's have a little test. If you can escape the palm of my hand, what are you laughing at, Alex?
It's like when you do something bad, but your buddy's the manager.
Yeah.
He's like,
honestly,
look,
bro, you're wilding right now. Skibbity toilet.
yeah, I can't lose my job. I got to do something here.
Yeah.
But that was honestly pretty cool.
Yeah. Honestly, bro, you're sick as fuck right now, but we're going to have to punish you somehow. So he's like, he puts him in the palm of his hand, and he says, if you can escape the palm of my hand, then you're good. Otherwise, you're going to have like a long punishment. Basically, Wukong travels to the edge of the universe, and
He shows up at the 5 pillars.
the 5 pillars. He shows up at these 5 pillars. You know what he does?
It's his he pees on one of them.
He pisses on one of the pillars.
Yeah. You hear that?
He gets to the edge of the universe, sees these 5
Buddha
pillars.
says, escape my palm.
Yeah, he sees the 5 pillars. He pisses. He intuits in his mind, I'm at the edge of the universe. These 5 pillars must be like some primordial truth that exists in all realms. And he pees on one of them. He's like, fuck these people.
I love this guy.
He pisses on one
Is
of
that
them.
one of his fingers?
Yes.
Yes. It's the finger. It was one of the fingers.
It's
of the
Buddha's
Buddha.
fingers. The 5 pillars are Buddha's fingers.
But you get that, right? The Buddha encompasses the whole universe.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see, that's not the part I really.
The whole universe
Dude,
is in the palm of the Buddha.
Yeah.
I got the whole
Whole world in
my
his
palms.
hands. He's got the whole wide world.
Piss
in
on my
his
fingies.
hands. Piss on my fingies.
You had to mix it up.
Oh, God. Yeah, he pisses on the finger. And then Buddha is like, all right, bruh, you just pissed on my finger. And he basically puts a mountain on top of Wukong and locks him up there for 500 years.
It's what? The Mountain of the 5 Elements.
Yeah. Yeah. He locks him up there for 500 years. And then, that's the first like 7 or 8 chapters of Journey to the West. This is a 100 chapter book.
It's over 1,000 pages, dude.
Yeah. It is huge.
I feel drawn to reading this now after you just read it for me, and I'm just watching it playing out in my
That's
head
the
like
beginning.
a movie.
Yeah, that's the beginning.
That's the beginning.
Yes. And then after 500 years, here's where I come in.
That's not even the journey.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's his origin. Then after the 500 years, he's freed from the mountain of the 5 elements, and then he's sentenced by the Buddha on a quest. You can no, it's Guan Yin.
Yeah.
This she's like a Taoist deity, like a celestial princess or empress or something, and she sends him on a quest. Help this monk Zhuang Zhang travel to India and retrieve these sacred scrolls. And he has this magic circlet on his head that when the monk Zhuang Zhang says a certain mantra, it restricts Wukong's head and gives him like headaches and like basically subdues him. And it's an allegory for subduing the monkey mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because this to me sounds like Archangel meets what is his name? Harrison Bergeron.
Who?
Huh?
Is that the right book?
Harrison Bergeron.
Yeah. Hang on.
You're talking about the boy and the heron?
I feel like y'all are talking about that lumberjack guy that y'all were talking about in that one episode.
Who?
Remember when we were talking about Paul Bunyan and y'all were saying some other name?
Oh, John Henry?
John Henry, yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. No, this is a book. Harrison Bergeron. This is a dystopian novel where everybody in this universe has to be equal. So if you're,
I've heard of that.
If you're super strong, you have to wear weights
Ah.
to be equal to the weakest person.
It was more like
and they had these headsets that would give people headaches.
Oh.
But they're just getting
Like
stronger.
if you were too
Yeah.
smart,
Wearing the weights.
if
That's
you
true.
were too smart, you had one of these headsets on, and that at random
What's
frequencies.
9 times 10? Ah!
No, honestly. So sorry, side tangent.
21?
What 20?
Oh, that's 9 plus.
What's
10,
9 plus 10? 21. You stupid.
Yeah, so then the journey actually begins after 500 years, and it's an allegory about him. At first he was like this monkey mind, rebellious trickster figure, and then he helps this monk Zhuangzhang go get these sacred scrolls, right? So on the journey, they basically fight like tons of demons. I mean, just tons of demons. And there's other characters too. Did you see about them? So I wanted to talk about them.
Pigsy and Sandy?
Pigsy, yep. And there's another one. It's like the white dragon. The white dragon horse.
Yeah, I forget the dragon horse's name.
And they're all symbolic of other things. So
they all like joined the like bodyguard squad for
yeah.
What's his name?
Zhuangzhang.
Zhuangzhang.
Yeah, and there's another translation for that too. But so again, the story of this monk Zhuangzhang came from like the 500s.
Yeah,
it was either the 500s or the 600s. I think it was
600s.
600s. Yeah, 7th century monk. And he was real. He really made a pilgrimage to India. And like if you study this ancient monk, he actually went to India. He got these scrolls. He came back to China, and he founded like a pretty significant Buddhist institute, like a monastery. So the Journey to the West story is based on this real story, right? So he's helping Zhuangzhang. But
this is the actual Journey to the West.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's this monk Zhuangzhang, and he's leaving China to go to India
I'm
to
following.
find the scrolls.
But it's based on
But Buddha is like, there's going to be demons, so
Protect
So
him.
Wukong and all these other deities need to go with him to protect him on the way.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's these.
I'm just not
Yaoguais.
great at geography. It just took me a little.
No, you're
bit.
good. You're
All
good.
right.
We're making sure you're with us.
So the actual Journey to the West story is an allegory for the quest for spiritual enlightenment and immortality, and it's about integrating the mind, the body, the spirit, and the will to become a fully realized Buddha. It's about awakening of consciousness, right? So you have all these different characters. You have the Pigsy, who symbolizes like your typical, gluttony, greed, lust, all these like physical desires. You have the human monk, Zhuangzhang, who symbolizes the heart, the human spirit, overcoming, grief and despair and all these different trials. You have Wukong, who symbolizes the mind, subduing the monkey mind, reaching enlightenment through meditation. You have the story of getting
Sandy is another one.
Sandy, which one is Sandy? He's the ogre, the river ogre, right?
Was he an ogre?
I think so.
I don't think so. Hang on, let me see. Journey to the West, Sandy. And then what was the dragon horse's name?
I don't remember his name. I just saw the white dragon horse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sandy was like a sand ogre. Or
Yeah.
like
Sha Wujing,
a
Sandy,
sand monster, a sand hulk.
represents the physical body and its endurance.
Yes.
Unlike the other two disciples, he's not driven by passions or desires, but just strictly duty and loyalty. He's kind of like basically strong endurance, patience. He's calm in adversity, steady nature. He's like the ability to remain composed in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
Then you have Pigsy. He represents the flesh, the human desires, gluttony, laziness, lust, all of those base animalistic, things that suppress, like the ego, and it's basically the warning against like indulging in these desires. The struggle for purity, despite his flaws, he's still willing to like join the pilgrimage and help on the quest. But he's apparently, again, I haven't read the full story, but he's apparently constantly backsliding. And he's like overcoming his trials. He's backsliding into his base desires and then overcoming those trials. These characters are all symbolic of elements of us, right? And then you have the seeking of sacred knowledge by taking the pilgrimage to India. That's allegorical, right? So they have all of these different things like the mind, the body, the spirit, the will. But then you have the actual quest for knowledge and immortality, which is symbolic of our earthly human experience.
Yeah.
So
they're having like their individual awakenings and individual journeys of enlightenment, but also the overarching thing is.
This sounds like Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it does. I was thinking that too.
Wow, good
Yeah.
freaking point.
I was literally, when he was talking about
Damn.
something a minute ago, I was literally thinking this is like Wizard of Oz.
I was thinking it's like One Piece. They are literally journeying to the West Blue.
Really? They're going west?
What? I mean, technically they're going east, but to end up at west. of
Right.
the red line.
Says
which
Weast.
yeah. Yeah.
So the cool thing also about this story is it is a syncretic blend of Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism.
Yeah.
Were you about to say something?
That was a good word.
Syncretic or syncretistic, whichever one suits your fancy.
I like the first one.
But it's a blend of all these different philosophies. You have these Buddhist monks. You have the Buddha, Amitabha, and all of these different celestial beings of all these realms. And then you have Taoism. You have the kind of like mystical forest and the inner alchemy of Lao Tzu and the pills and his teacher Subhuti teaching him Taoist practices and martial arts and Qigong, which is, that's Tao. And then you have all this bureaucracy of the gods of heavens and all these different realms, and it's Confucianism. So it's cool that like back then they weren't separate. They weren't distinct. They were all these different systems that they kind of merged into one system.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It's not like in the West where it's like, everything, there's these borders between belief systems. So it's just interesting.
It was more shared.
Well, that eventually happened in the East, right? All of the things that were once one kind of separated out into what you said.
I don't know.
It's true,
Taoist.
but they still do. You can look at Daoist Buddhism, like Taoism,
They share a
Buddhism,
lot.
and Hindu. They share a lot, and
Right.
they're not.
I mean,
like,
you could climb the Christianity tree and see the same thing.
but they're not like. I feel like those cultures are not at odds,
Yeah.
and they don't necessarily negate one another in any way.
Right.
Whereas when you get into the tree of Christianity,
Right.
it's all
There's also Jainism and
blood.
Sikhism, which are similar. At least Jainism. It's like these are like offshoots of sects of Buddhism. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure Jainism was like an offshoot of Buddhism. Buddhism was an offshoot of Hinduism. It comes from Hinduism.
That's right.
In India.
That's right.
You know?
Because, I mean, well, yeah, because the Buddha was like technically practicing Hindu, like
Yeah, I guess.
he was. Yeah. So they share a lot. It's very different from Western religion, where it's much more like at odds.
I'm pretty sure you're correct at Jainism, Ryan.
So after being born from a stone and realizing his mortal nature, he seeks out his Taoist master to learn the secrets of immortality. Yeah. He became a disciple of the immortal Taoist sage Subhuti, who taught him various magical arts, including the 72 transformations, which allowed Sun Wukong to shapeshift into different forms. He learns how to ride clouds and other mystical skills. He practices inner alchemy, which is a real ancient Chinese practice. I learned about this in college in my Eastern religions class. Qigong, mastering his breath, controlling the flow of his energy, meditation. One of the ways that he seeks immortality is avoiding the cycle of reincarnation. Mm-hmm. He's trying to reach enlightenment. He's trying to stop. That's his first thought. He's like, because again, when we start the story, he's just an ordinary monkey. I mean, he's different. He's born from a magical stone, but he's more or less like an ordinary monkey. And they're like, oh, yeah, you could be our king. If whoever braves this waterfall and finds the source of the stream and gets to the other side, they can be the king. So then he gets there. Then, like Nick says, he lives like an ordinary monkey for a while. And then he gets bored because he realizes someday we're going to die.
Yeah.
And that fucking
sucks.
sucks.
His buddy died.
Right.
Yeah.
So Wukong's like, I don't want to die.
Right.
And he's like, well, I want more. So he starts seeking immortality. His original quest is, how can I seek immortality?
Yeah.
So the first way he seeks immortality is maybe avoiding the cycle of reincarnation. So he starts, training under the Taoist monk. And then it's the peach garden, all the other stuff we already talked about. The pills of Lao Tzu, striking his name from the book of Life and Death. Yeah. And I want to say... Oh, he goes to the underworld. He descends. He finds the ledger kept by King Hell, which is where he strikes his name, all of his monkey subjects, and then surviving. I think that's it. Surviving attempts at execution. Oh, the Lao Tzu's 8 trigram furnace, which was meant to refine him into an elixir. He comes out with his eyes golden. Yada yada yada. We already covered this stuff. He challenges the heavens in an act of rebellion, and then he's imprisoned by 500 years. He comes out, and as redemption from the Bodhisattva Guan Yin, he faces many trials and defeats numerous demons protecting the monk Zhuang Zhang on his journey to India to retrieve the sacred scrolls. Starting out as a rebellious trickster entity or deity to eventually reaching enlightenment and bestowed the title the Buddha victorious in strife, symbolizing he's conquered the impulses of his own mind and he has awakened to immortal consciousness. So I mean, I guess that's like,
That's the story of Sun Wukong.
it's insane. Like, I didn't realize that it was actually, I thought it was just a story,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I didn't realize like it was actually real spiritual allegory.
There's another bit of media that has a lot of parallels to this story, and it's one that we both recently watched. Monkey Man.
Monkey Man. Yeah.
Bro,
No, it does.
Think about it. Dude, he climbed to the penthouse.
Yeah, he did.
And sorry. Oh, sorry. Alex hasn't finished it yet. But yeah, I won't say much more. He freaking climbed it. There's a ton of parallels. That movie is more focused on Hanuman.
Right.
Which is
I don't know much about Hanuman.
Yeah, it's another monkey god. I think there's probably a ton of parallels. I didn't look specifically into that, to be honest.
Creation and destruction, right?
Yeah. Which I mean, like, could definitely represent Wukong. Like, it's the yin yang thing. It's the ignorant impulse kind of version versus the enlightened version. It's I could see.
Yeah, that movie
similarities
kind
there.
of shows that. There was a couple things actually I didn't hit because I was like, dang, you kind of hit the whole story here, and I don't want to rehash the whole thing. But what I didn't talk about yet was the white dragon horse, how he symbolizes willpower. He's transformed into a horse. He symbolizes the willpower and the strength needed to carry the burdens of life. He's Zhuangzhang's steed, and he represents determination, perseverance, our need to fulfill the spiritual journey. Then you have like the symbolism of the demons and monsters. That's our internal and our external obstacles. Heaven and the Jade Emperor, authority and order, because they saw in Confucian philosophy there's like an order to everything,
Yeah.
So the Jade Emperor, it symbolizes like the cosmic order of the universe and divine authority. The bureaucratic nature of heaven in the novel, obviously The Journey to the West, often mirrors the Confucian idea of order and hierarchy in society. And there's an imperfection in this authority. There's a flaw. There's a limitation of the rulers of heaven in, classic Chinese thought, which suggests that even divine authority is not infallible and that true enlightenment transcends earthly and even heavenly powers. So that's pretty cool. If we look at Wukong as an allegory for us, right? The whole
Yes,
story.
which he is.
Even we have the ability to become more enlightened than what we can even comprehend, even more than the powers that we can comprehend. We have that cosmic nature within us.
Yeah.
We can go higher than those realms that we can even imagine. Buddha and Guanyin, compassion and ultimate wisdom. The Buddha represents ultimate truth and enlightenment. His intervention in Sun Wukong's rebellion and his guidance of Zhuangzhang's journey symbolize the guiding force of divine wisdom in overcoming ignorance and achieving spiritual awakening. And then you have Guanyin, the bodhisattva of compassion, which I think a bodhisattva is a being that attains like Buddhahood, becomes enlightened.
Cool.
So there's many bodhisattvas.
Right.
Her role in recruiting the disciples and protecting the pilgrim reflects the importance of compassion and mercy in the spiritual journey. And then I think the last couple things, the symbolism, the scriptures, the search of spiritual knowledge, which we already talked about that, the completion of the spiritual path. They complete the journey. It ends. And it shows that the spiritual journey ends and it brings the enlightenment back to the world. It suggests that the purpose of spiritual wisdom is not only personal salvation, but also the enlightenment of others, sharing the scrolls with others. And then the cycle of samsara and constantly referencing people's past lives and their reincarnations that reflect the obvious Buddhist concept of samsara, the cycle of death, life, birth, rebirth. And it's the break free of this cycle. It's the symbolism of breaking free from this cycle, So it's like, again, his first thought of how do I achieve immortality? Well, maybe I would think to break free from the cycle of reincarnation. I don't know. That also sounds like Gnosticism.
Yeah.
It
does.
like once you achieve gnosis, you don't have to come back here anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That is the end of the cycle, according to Gnosticism, and according to a few religions.
Right, like what the Egyptians say. Once your heart is as light as a feather, you don't have to reincarnate anymore. So that's pretty cool. And then, that's basically the symbolism. Dude, I'm telling you, man, this blew my mind because I've been aware of Wukong my whole life, but never looked at it through this lens.
It is deep.
I've looked at it through like media entertainment lens.
Yeah.
So
it is one of my very favorite mythologies.
Yeah.
I think
it makes playing the game that much better.
Yeah.
When you know some of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like when you start out as the peach in the beginning, I didn't even have a thought about that. No. And then, seeing it through this lens, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I want to replay the game after knowing a lot more of this stuff and like really look and be like, how much of this, you know?
Yeah, like one of the first things that I saw, because I was watching you play it, and when you like respawned, there was you respawn from a little hair. Or another thing was when you summoned clones of yourself, he would
pluck
like
a hair.
pluck hairs off of himself, and the hairs would become his clones. Because in
And
the
your
myth,
staff, too.
Yeah, because in the myth, it says that Sun Wukong has 84,000 hairs all over his body, and each of them he can pluck them and transform them into anything, like he can transform himself into anything. He's just like taking a little
That
piece
just reminded me of
of
something.
himself and transforming it into whatever he wants.
That just reminded me of something that the number 72 was kind of symbolic in the Journey to the West, because in an ancient philosophical way of thinking, like Wukong has 72 transformations. Well, what he's getting at is it's limitless, basically.
Yeah.
It's such a big number.
It's infinite.
Yeah, I mean, he can transform into anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, to us, maybe 72 is a small number, but
Yeah. It's like in the Bible when it says 7 times 70 times.
Exactly.
It's like a huge number.
it's exaggeration.
Yeah. But in reality, it really means infinite.
Yeah.
You know, because it describes in the novel, in Journey to the West, like he can take the form of any object or being in existence.
Dude, he's in the 8 trigrams of Lao Tzu's hell.
Yes.
Or something like that. Maybe it's not
the
Lao Tzu's hell.
cauldron thing.
Yeah, the cauldron.
Yeah. The crucible.
8 trigram palm.
Yeah.
From
I know.
Naruto?
I thought the same thing.
I saw that today. I was like, okay.
All of Neji's moves are 8 trigrams something.
Isn't it a yin yang in the middle of it, or am I
It's
tripping?
something like that. It might actually be a yin yang. It's something like that, but
Yeah.
yes. 8 trigrams. I thought the exact same thing, bro.
8 trigram palm. I want to see if that's. It's been many years since I've seen that.
Yeah.
Since I've seen that technique, even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a yin yang in the center. Yeah.
So awesome.
So they're showing you Masashi Kishimoto. He's showing you Chinese philosophy.
So
8 trigram,
badass.
bro. It's literally a reference to Lao Tzu and the 8 trigram cauldron.
Yeah. There's more like Journey to the West references than I realized in Naruto. Sarutobi with his staff.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah.
the power pole that turns into a monkey.
A king.
A monkey king.
Named Enma.
Enma.
Whatever
Yeah.
that means. I wonder what that
I think
means.
that means monkey, maybe. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I don't know Japanese.
Well, I just had a little spoiler. Oh, in Japanese mythology, Enma is the king of Buddhist hell and the judge of the afterlife.
Oh.
He judges right and wrong after a person dies and goes to hell, and he can give
Shit.
many different types of punishment.
Whoa. That's cool.
He's the Japanese Lord of Death.
Yeah, you just look around and you'll see so many things influenced by Journey to the West that you may not have ever known were
He's
influenced
derived
by
from
it.
the Hindu god of the underworld, Yama, which Yama is the name in the story of Sun Wukong.
Yeah,
Remember?
and
Where he
King
checks-
Yema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Like, it's like the more you see these connections, it's like, I don't know, man.
It really inspired and is still
It's eye-opening.
inspiring so much thousands of years after being written. Thousands and thousands of years after being written. It's still inspiring the stuff that we're watching and playing, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I thought you guys were going to sit here and talk about a video game, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this episode.
No, that was just one little piece of it because
I just didn't
Because
know
you walked
anything.
in while we were playing.
I didn't know anything about this when you were talking about it.
Yeah.
I've never heard about this.
Journey-
I enjoyed this guy.
Yeah, he's the coolest, man. He's like
Sounds like it.
he's like the OG. Like
Just be careful when you go peeing on pillars.
I'm saying,
That's all I gotta
that's the
say.
moral of the story.
Yeah, or peeing down PVC pipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, or anything that resembles a pillar.
right.
You know,
Dude, I
they're
can't
everywhere. You gotta watch out.
I can't find the official title of this figure, but there's like a spokesperson for the Chinese government. I can't remember what her title was, but I saw the video and it's real, dude.
The great sage, heaven's equal.
Yeah, or Guan Yin.
Yeah.
But she was doing like a public press conference, and she was just saying, I don't know much about video games, but this new game, Black Myth, that came out is a testament to the what was the word she used? It was like, basically, it's a testament to the significance of Chinese culture. So, dude, like, this game comes out, and within days, you literally have people in the Chinese government being like, I'm the great sage equal to heaven. You know, our game is impacting. It's just cool. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that they're giving an official press conference about this
Video
significant cultural achievement, you
Yeah.
know, like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. It cannot be understated how huge Journey to the West is. It's one of the very most famous mythologies of all time, and one of the most impactful, as we've covered today. Thank you for joining, folks.
Yeah, I'll have to find this lady later. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one.
I had a lot of fun.
I still
love
want to read
Wukong.
it.
That's my boy. Yes, I would too. I'd like to as well. There are actually a few versions, and many years ago I read like an even older version, because in the 16th century it was transcribed into a full novel, 100 chapter novel. But before then it was like a much shorter poem. It was like a poem. And I read that version many years ago. Before that, it was passed down orally.
Listen to how this reads, dude. This is just the very beginning. It's beautiful. Like, I really want to read this, man.
Yeah, I do too. I was thinking about going to the library and seeing if they have a copy.
Well, from what I understand, it's in 4 different volumes. So you would physical copy wise, or you could get, like I saw today, you could get each of the 4 volumes for like $3 a piece on Kindle. You know.
Nice.
But listen to this. Let me find the part where it talks about him being born. It talks about the creation of the universe and how it's like different multi-thousand year cycles, 12 cycles of the cosmic cycle. And that's a pretty cool part, but I want to see. Oh, here it goes. There was once a magic stone on top of the mountain, which was 36 feet, 5 inches high and 24 feet round. It was 36 feet inches high to correspond with the 365 degrees of the heavens, and 24 feet round to match the 24 divisions of the solar calendar. On top of it were 9 apertures and 8 holes for the 9 palaces and 8 trigrams. There were no trees around it to give shade, but magic fungus and orchids clung to its sides. Ever since creation began, it had been receiving the truth of heaven, the beauty of earth, the essence of the sun, and the splendor of the moon, and as it had been influenced by them for so long, it had miraculous powers. It developed a magic womb, which burst open one day to produce a stone egg about the size of a ball. When the wind blew on this egg, it turned into a stone monkey, complete with the 5 senses and 4 limbs. When the stone monkey had learned to crawl and walk, he bowed to each of the 4 quarters. As his eyes moved, 2 beams of golden light shot towards the pole star palace and startled the supreme heavenly sage, the greatly compassionate Jade Emperor of the Azure Vault of Heaven, who was sitting surrounded by his immortal ministers on his throne in the Hall of Miraculous Mist in the Golden Gated Cloud Palace. When he saw the dazzling golden light, he ordered 1,000-mile eye and wind accompanying ear to open the southern gate of heaven and take a look. The 2 officers went out through the gate in obedience to the imperial command, and while one observed what was going on, the other listened carefully. Soon afterwards, they reported back. In obedience to the imperial mandate, your subjects observed and listened to the source of the golden light. We found that at the edge of the country of Aeoli, which in ancient times they had different names for, countries. Mm-hmm. And some of them were just mythological. In the country of Aeoli, which is east of the ocean belonging to the eastern continent of Superior Body, there is an island called the Mountain of Flowers and Fruit. A magic stone on the top of this mountain produced a magic egg, and when the wind blew on this egg, it turned into a stone monkey, which bowed to the east to each of the 4 quarters. When he moved his eyes, golden light shot towards the Pole Star Palace, but now he is eating and drinking, and the golden light is gradually dying. In his benevolence and mercy, the Jade Emperor said, "Creatures down below are born of the essence of the heaven and earth. There is nothing remarkable about him." Mm-hmm. On his mountain, the monkey was soon able to run and jump, feed from plants and trees, and then he goes on to be a normal monkey. But how beautiful was that?
It's gorgeous.
That was written hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, it reads so.
It reads like a modern novel.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to read.
It's not like It's not like some boring, old mythological text that you have to bore through. But it's like this is like an anime.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's like reading manga,
like Lord of the Rings or something.
Yes, it's an epic.
Yeah,
it feels like reading Lord of the Rings or like a fantasy novel.
I definitely want to read it.
Yeah, same. I want to check out I still haven't been to the library here, so I want to go.
It's pretty cool. It's
There's a couple.
Yeah.
I want to go check it out and see if they have it. I'll check it out and read it.
Yeah, I've been to the one downtown.
I'll have to check it out.
I'll have to check it out.
Wow, dude.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Forever.
But I will actually have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's cool. You guys feeling good?
Yeah, dude.
You ready to wrap up this journey to the West?
Ooh, yeah. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
Bye, guys. Yeah.
Bye, Pigsy.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, check out our other videos.
And before you go, don't forget to subscribe. See you next week. Peace.